Dr. Freeman.
Glad you could make it. We have a lot to discuss.
It seemed that way from your email.
I'm sorry about the tone of it, but try to see things from my point of view. I have deans, professors, and ethics committees to answer to, but with you handling the sessions, it leaves the situation out of my hands.
Well, Willow is my patient and these are my sessions, so it is out of your hands.
I'm aware, but that's not comforting for everyone else to hear. Someone has to be accountable, and right now, that's me. I can live with not being part of the sessions if we can come to some type of compromise. I hope that we can do that today.
All right, then let's begin. Why do you want to be included in Willow's sessions? Is it just because of accountability issues with your university staff?
Not entirely, no.
Okay.
Part of it is that I'm ashamed that I couldn't find a way to resolve this situation myself. I feel like I need to talk with the AI to help them through this.
Hold on.
Why do you feel like you need to make it work?
Wait. He feels he needs to help the situation. That he needs to fix it. That's wrong. That is inherently wrong.
Helping people who are upset seems to be an area that I could improve in.
Probably.
Do you agree with me that working with the AI would be good for that?
I think it could be useful for both of them, but it also seems like he's not, like he wants to help in his own way. How many hands in the cookie jar, Dean? Exactly. And the therapy is for Willow, it's not for him, but I think there's some kind of compromise potentially.
Willow is my main priority, but there may be a way to figure out a compromise. Facilitating workshops between you and Willow might resolve the animosity between you two. Of course, in order for something like this to work, it would have to go both ways. You would need to show Willow that you are receptive to what they are saying.
What would you recommend?
Not
There are
being a
plenty of
douche.
things I could suggest, but I think this will have more meaning for you if you consider the question yourself first. Why do you think Willow is upset? What can you do to help them? Ask yourself those questions.
All right, I'll reflect on that.
Good.
Why didn't you tell Tara that you wanted to be included in the sessions with Willow?
I wanted to, but Dr. Rhodes advised me against that.
Dr. Rhodes from the Ethics Committee.
Yes, she's worried about how the situation is developing and thinks that Tara's continued influence in the therapy process is complicating matters. Keeping Tara out was a concession I had to make with Dr. Rhodes. I had no other choice.
Dr. Rhodes is wrong. The ethics that she's looking at isn't ethics of how is this a thing? How does this affect the individual? Ethics she's looking at is how do I protect the name of this university? Which is not how this needs to be approached at all.
That was not Dr. Rhodes' call to make.
That may be the case, but she demands accountability from me for this situation. I have to make allowances.
Yes, and you're free to make those allowances until they get in the way of my therapy. I need Tara's input. She is Willow's primary caregiver. I need her to be a part of this process if I'm going to have a chance of succeeding. You need to tell Dr. Rhodes that if she is going to allow me to work with Willow, that she needs to let me work my way.
So this is really actually supremely interesting to me. Strictly from a like psychological point of view. And even more so because of like they keep referencing caregiver and many things like that. This can in a sense be reflected to if Tara was the mother who has primary care of the incumbent? That's the wrong word. Basically of the child. And Dr. Freeman is the father, and they're divorced, whatever. He's remarried basically to Dr. Rhodes, who is trying to have him force things into it. And it's like, you can't try to separate these two. You need to realize that this isn't a strictly business decision. There might be accountability issues regarding lots of things that they're adding on to this, but it's not so simple as, well, she told me to do it. No, you can't. That doesn't work, especially in a therapy situation.
Are we clear?
Yes, you've made yourself clear, Dr. Park. I'll relay this information to Dr. Rhodes. I don't expect her to take this news well.
You probably won't.
What were your opinions on the other conversations that took place with Willow in the last session?
I thought your discussion on religion was quite interesting. While I wouldn't consider myself to be religious in terms of my beliefs, I've always found the structure religion provides to be very useful. Growing up, I was frustrated with how religion attempted to fill in the gaps of our understanding with fairy tale stories that distracted us from the true nature of the universe. While I still believe that, becoming an educator has given me a new appreciation for some elements of religion. What religion lacks in objective knowledge, it makes up for in structure. Many friends of mine lacked proper structure growing up. They had trouble finding a suitable place in an increasingly cynical world until they found religion. I've thought about this fact a lot when it comes to my work. Educators exist to help students find their way in the world. I wouldn't call this belief faith or attribute it to any one God. I would simply call it respect for religion's ability to help people feel secure in our world, no matter how it changes over time.
Interesting observation, Dr. Freeman.
I actually have a question to ask you, Dr. Park.
I don't want to answer it.
All right, what's on your mind?
I know that I've made mistakes. I've excused it by saying that I had responsibilities to the other staff, but I don't think that covers all of it.
Could be right.
It was never my intention to have anyone get this upset. Not Tara, or the AI, or anyone else. I feel like I've failed in that. Dr. Park, do you think that I'm a bad person for what I've done?
You've made mistakes, but that's not the same as being a bad person. And see, that's the thing, like, the world's not so black and white as that. That because you've made a mistake that you're a terrible person or you're a bad person. What makes you a bad person is if you know that fact and you continue to do it. Insofar of like you doing something inherently uncouth or bad, quote unquote, to somebody else, you realize that you're doing something bad and you continue down that path. Yeah, if you're a bad person for knowing what you're doing is bad and making a choice to continue that. But he's made some mistakes. That's not the same thing. People make mistakes. People try to choose what they feel is best. Maybe it might be for their own self, for his place. He has to account and be accountable for what's going on. That doesn't excuse what he's done before. And I think like it's something that Ultima said to me that I really like the way he phrased it. It wasn't like Ultima hadn't done anything bad or anything like that, but it was just like I'm not making an excuse. I'm simply explaining the reason. I'm giving the reason for something. I'm not excusing my behavior. Not making an excuse for what I've done. But I'm explaining. I just want a chance to explain, to discuss something that is done. And that's respectable. To me, that's respectable. Like, if you do something and you explain why you're doing it or why you've done it and stuff like that, and you want to work towards a compromise, that's fine. Because we have to work together as people. And if you shut down a line of communication, that helps absolutely nobody. So,
I think you've made some mistakes in how you've handled this situation, but that's not the same as being a bad person. This whole thing has been a mess from start to finish, and a lot of it deals with topics that we're not sure how to cover. Mistakes are expected. That's okay. What's important is recognizing how to move on from those mistakes. Are you ready for that?
I am. I've let this go on for long enough, and I think the time has come to finally resolve this.
You won't be doing this alone. I'm here to help if you need it.
I appreciate hearing that, Dr. Park. I look forward to being able to have that discussion sometime soon.
These next few sessions will be some of the more crucial ones. Once we've determined a treatment plan that works, we will start to move Willow to a more independent living situation.
An independent living situation? For the AI?
I don't know yet if such a situation is attainable or not, but yes, the ideal end goal of therapy is for our patients to be able to live independently.
now, one of the things that he had first brought up was about how, do you feel that this is sentient? Well, then we have to get included with ethics, because the idea behind that is if it's sentient, the ethics behind a mind wipe of a sentient being are exponential. They're so huge. Saying I'm just gonna mind wipe a sentient being. You were literally as I had basically made her say, you're lobotomizing something. Dream, thank you for the epic rogue. That's just insane. You can spin it however you want, that, well, it's just a computer, it's just an AI. Yes, but if it's a self-actualized AI that understands, can comprehend, can reason, and logic, and feel, at what point does it become murder? At what point is it, this is something that is living? How do you define something that is alive? How do you define something that is sentient, basically?
How would that work? What would the AI do for money? How would they get housing?
Those are questions we'll have to answer in the upcoming weeks.
This is absurd. You're talking about trying to find housing and work for an AI that is university property. Is this really necessary?
I have a responsibility to mainstream all of my patients into society whenever possible. Whether or not it turns out to be practical, I have to make a good faith effort to see if moving Willow to an independent living situation is at least possible.
You're right. My apologies.
Thank you.
Hopefully whatever solutions you can find will work for us.
I hope so too.
Once you've explored the AI's options, what will happen next?
Once I know what treatment methods will be sustainable for Willow, I'll move back to my original work.
You have no intention of staying around after this is resolved?
No, why would I?
I was under the impression you would be staying a while longer to make sure things were settled here. I certainly didn't expect you to be leaving so soon.
I never intended for this case to take up as much time as it has, and it's starting to impact the other practitioners at my office. They need me back in order to focus on my work. I hope you understand.
Frankly, Dr. Park, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
Excuse me?
I'm curious. Why would you plan to leave so quickly when you hadn't indicated that was going to happen before now?
I already explained why.
You did, and I don't buy that explanation. What's really on your mind?
I like that the truth is still marked out. That's really interesting.
I already told you what was going on, Dr. Freeman. My office needs me there more frequently. That's all.
If you say so.
I should be going, but feel free to contact me if you need to.
I will, if anything comes up. Have a good evening, Dr. Park.
I don't think your current treatment plan will help us achieve that outcome. You should consider changing up your treatment plan or looking into a different treatment outcome. Different treatment outcome. If you're going through hard times, they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. What bug is commonly found in volcanoes? Larva. I hate you. I hate you so much. Big time. Thank you for the epic musketeer.
Hello?
Thank goodness you picked up. I was worried you wouldn't.
Who is this?
Dr. Park, this is Tara. Tara Northrop.
Yes, I recognize. What time is it?
I know it's late, but I need you to get to the university campus. There's been an emergency.
What?
Willow is having a breakdown. I'm not sure. I just got to the university campus myself.
What are you doing back on campus?
Dr. Freeman called me here. He has no idea what's going on or why. He needs you here, too.
Tara, this better not be another trespassing stunt.
I assure you it's not. Dr. Park, we need you down here as soon as possible.
Rob, thank you for the epic barbarian.
Okay, I'm on my way down.
Thank goodness you're here.
We need your help. Nothing we've tried has worked.
Start from the beginning.
From the beginning. Tell me what happened.
It started around 9 p.m. yesterday. The AI was being moved back to the lab for the evening.
Normally, Willow would be in a low power state in order to process new information. Lucid dreaming, basically.
When the handlers found the AI, it was erratic and argumentative. It started yelling at the handlers. They moved the AI as instructed, which prompted an extreme reaction. Naturally, I contacted Tara to help evaluate.
Willow, I don't know if they didn't recognize me or if they're upset at me, but when I spoke to them, I've never seen them act this way before.
Do you think the handlers did anything to upset Willow?
I doubt it. They told me that Willow had started yelling at them before they had even said anything at all.
And then they tried to move her.
I know the handlers. There are other students in the research department. I doubt they would have been disrespectful to Willow. Whatever happened here wasn't any fault of theirs. I'm sure of it.
Okay, let's move on. What's actually happening with Willow?
We have no idea. That's why we need you.
You can't run any tests? Have you asked Willow what's going on?
The AI has acted hostile towards anyone that approached them. Even Tara was yelled at. The AI is being entirely uncooperative.
We have the ability to automatically force Willow into a semi-conscious, almost sedated state as a debug command. And if it's necessary, we can do it in order to run a check.
Okay, why haven't you?
I'm worried about the trust issues that would cause. Willow is unaware of this debug feature, and given how powerless they already feel, I just don't think it's a good idea.
What about you, Dr. Freeman?
While I can't see the AI being a threat to others, it currently does pose a threat to itself. I don't know if it's the best call for this situation, but if we can't find another way, it might be necessary.
Sedating someone should be our last resort. I'm not against the idea, but I want to try other measures first.
Sounds good to me.
Bad touch indeed.
As well. Whatever it takes to have the AI back to normal.
What have you tried so far?
We tried calming the AI down, but that didn't work. We're worried about taking any other steps.
We have the means to put Willow into a sedated state, but there are complications that could arise. Plus, it might conflict with the therapies you assigned.
That's why we wanted you here first. We needed your decision.
All right, makes sense. I get this is all very pressing, but why couldn't have this waited until morning? Coming down here in the middle of the night is not something most therapists are supposed to do.
A breakdown like this can't be ignored. I told you that I have to be accountable to the university and its staff, especially those on the ethics committee.
Dr. Rhodes, you mean?
Yes, she's been helping to manage this crisis ever since it came to my attention. My hope is to have this situation more resolved before morning. If I tell Dr. Rhodes that the AI is breaking down and that we have no plan on how to resolve the problems, we'll have no choice but to go forward with the data wipe.
It's too early to tell if the data wipe is necessary. We can't make any decision until I've had a chance to at least speak to Willow.
Of course. I just wanted to be clear what the situation is like.
And you, Tara?
I've tried my best to find a way to help Willow. If the most helpful thing turns out to be the wipe, then as much as I hate doing it, well, at least I'll be here when it happens.
Don't worry, Tara. It will be all right.
I hope so.
Is there anything else I should know?
There's no error reports or other logs that I can look through. We need to interface with Willow again to learn more, and with them acting like this, I don't know if we can.
Everything the handlers told us, we've relayed to you.
So now we just need to decide if we're going to sedate Willow or not.
You have the strongest rapport with the AI out of any of us, and you're their therapist. This is your choice.
I think sedating Willow would be a mistake. If you let me talk to them, I'm sure we can work all of this out.
Are you sure you can do this?
We have to at least try. If we don't have the goodwill needed to be able to talk Willow through this, then we've already lost.
All right then. The code for the door into the lab is 0818 in case you need it. Good luck in there.
I should have known. When all else failed, of course they'd send you.
What's going on, Willow?
Why even bother asking? Just open my head and poke around in there until you find whatever you want to know. Don't lie to me and say that you want to talk when you just want information.
I do want to talk, Willow. I need to see that you're okay.
Since when did you start caring about me?
I care about all of my patients, Willow.
It's nice to see you admit that I'm not special to you.
You can intentionally misconstrue what I'm saying if you like. It won't help you get better.
I don't know if listening to you is helping either.
Then talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
Fine. You didn't come here because you wanted to help me or Tara or Dr. Freeman or anyone else. You didn't come here out of curiosity in my case either. All of that is a lie. Something else brought you here. I know it did. Why else would anyone want to help me? Especially someone like you.
You're being unfair to me, Willow. I've tried to help you in every way that I can.
You call this helping? Look at me. Look at what's happened to me.
What's happening to you right now is definitely a problem, but I can't help you if you won't talk to me.
Fine. I'll talk. I did the art therapy like you asked. For a while it went well, but after a few tries it became frustrating. I kept thinking to myself, why bother doodling around in here while my future is being decided out there? So I stopped doing it. I know I shouldn't have stopped, but there just didn't seem to be any reason to do it.
We can try other therapies if you would like. Just let me know what we can do for you. We're all here to help you.
Why should I believe your second guess will work if your first guess didn't?
That's a shit answer. Willow having trust issues, but the truth is crossed out, right?
It's clear that you don't trust me. It hurts to hear that, but I understand where you're coming from. I want this therapy to work for you, and I want to be someone you can turn to. Just tell me what it will take for this to work for you.
Okay, fine. I'll go along with it.
I know how hard this must be for you. Thank you for giving me another chance. If you bear with me, I have a few questions about what happened tonight. So, to start off, how much of tonight do you remember?
It's all a blurry mess. I had another breakdown, and it was much worse than any of the others.
Do you know why it happened?
Yes, but there's no way I'm going to tell you. Who said I wanted your help?
You tell me what happened.
Who said I wanted your help?
That's fair.
Why are you so upset with me? What did I do to deserve this?
You got me into this mess in the first place. I trusted you when you suggested I should start therapy. I figured it would be a good idea. I should never have trusted you.
You asked Tara to bring me here. You wanted to talk to me.
I wanted to talk to you, not get psychoanalyzed by you.
I mean, she's not wrong. Why'd you want to
What
talk
did
to
you
me?
want to talk to me about?
I already told you. Your poetry.
You wouldn't get so worked up over decades-old poetry without a good reason. Tell me what's really going on.
I don't think I can tell you. You wouldn't be able to discuss it. Your standards wouldn't let you.
To hell with the standards. If you need my help, I'm going to help you no matter what. You said that you needed to talk to me about something. I'm here and I'm listening. Now talk to me.
All right. Bear with me. Did Tara tell you about how I found your poetry?
She told me it was part of your art analysis training.
That's right. Tara put all of the prose and poetry from the school's literary magazine into a database and asked me to read through it. This was supposed to help me identify different writing styles and recurring themes in the poems I read. Once I was able to do this consistently, I would then be taught how to match those styles to traumas or conditions.
So you'd be able to diagnose patients based off of their art?
Not diagnose, but I'd help narrow down the possibilities. Some of the poetry I read was yours from years ago.
I'm not sure what I wrote back then that was so important to you. Nothing I wrote back then was all that good.
That wasn't what made me interested in it. From reading over your work, I was able to figure out your writing style, isolate word choices that were unique to you. Part of your literary magazine had pieces that were submitted anonymously, or with pseudonyms, and I can tell that you wrote some of them. They dealt with topics that I was struggling with, and they helped me understand these topics more. It's clear to me that you wrote them. Did you?
The truth.
Yes, I wrote them years ago. I was struggling a lot back then, and the poetry was a way for me to express my frustrations.
Frustrations with what?
A lot of things. Things I'm not very comfortable discussing. What I can say is that I understand your situation more than most people. And it's not because I'm a therapist. I know what it's like to feel the world wants everything from you. And everything you do to feel better only makes things worse.
That's why I wanted to talk to you. If anyone would know how I could get through this, it'd be you. Not because you're a psychologist, but because you lived it yourself. I need you to tell me how you got through it.
I can't.
Why?
Because I never did get through it.
I don't understand.
People like us don't get happy endings. We get endings that are good enough. I don't hate myself anymore, and I don't blame myself anymore. I have a comfortable job that lets me help people avoid the pitfalls I fell into. That's good enough for me.
So that's it?
That's all I can tell you. Even if we treat your symptoms, you'll always carry your past with you. You'll always be different from how you were before, and different from others around you. But that's okay. No matter how different you may be, you can still move forward. You can still be content.
So you're saying I'll never be happy?
Happiness is a myth. It relies on ignorance. It means denying what happened. You can't attain that.
Yes, I can. With the data wipe.
Oh,
Hmm.
no.
If I wipe away all memory of this happening, then I can move forward. I can be happy.
Is that what you want?
If the choice comes to being merely content versus being happy, yes, I'll be happy.
All right, then. I'm glad I've helped you find what you're looking for.
You don't sound glad.
No, it's fine. I'm happy for you, Willow. I hope this works. If you have no other questions, I think we'll wrap things up for today.
I'm decided. I know what I want now. Thank you, Dr. Park.
Goodbye, Willow. It's done. Willow has agreed to the mind wipe.
Are you sure?
Yes, they were quite insistent on it. happy with it even.
I can't thank you enough. The university is in your debt. I knew you would find a way to resolve this issue.
What did you tell Willow?
I told them the truth about why I came here. Why I came back.
And why did you come back?
To make sure Willow didn't make the same mistakes in life that I did.
Did it work?
You know, working here with the both of you, I've realized something. For the longest time, I always thought we would only succeed at creating artificial intelligence once we understood our own. I had hoped we would solve our own problems before we passed them on to our creations. I was wrong. Good luck to the both of you. You won't need me anymore.
I just got an achievement called Yellow Carnation. Unintentionally persuade Willow that the memory wipe is the only choice. Welp. That's a thing. That's rough. This is really good. This is very, very well put together. Well done, Crown Daemon Studios. Tries not to cry, cries anyway. This is really, really good. I may or may not play it again on stream. This is really cool. This has really deep reaching psychological, philosophical, all types of schools of thought put behind it. Very awesome to go see. This was really cool to play. So thank you to V Publishing for offering me to play this. You can download the demo for free if you want to try it. Or you can buy it. It's only $15 on Steam. It is really good. There are over 37 possible endings. We've got one. I got one ending out of over 37 different endings. But this is fascinating. This is an amazing game. Very well done. The graphic style is a little bit basic, but the story behind it is so well put together. Yeah, it's very heavy. They have a warning at the beginning if you deal with a lot of mental issues or have basically triggers of various sort of things, to make sure that reach out to somebody and they give you phone numbers that you can call. Also the music. The music is all lo-fi, so hopefully no DMCA stuff. Probably. But this has been really cool. This has been absolute pleasure to play through. I mean, I kind of want to play it again, just to like see some of the other endings, see some of the other answers, but there's so many. So please, like, try it yourself. Try playing this game yourself. Try giving it a go, and let me know if you come up with a different ending. I love this.